Welcome to a most joyous occasion as we honor the talented women and men who have already achieved so much and are just getting started. I give you the 2017 Master's graduates of Teachers College. Congratulations, graduates, you made it. Congratulations as well to those who helped you make it to this day, our outstanding faculty, and our dedicated staff who keep us on track, fed, safe, and well-maintained. And let's all show our appreciation to your families and partners for their love, encouragement, and support. Graduates, you now join the ranks of our 90,000 alumni who are leaders in education, psychology, and health. Like them, you now have the power to transform the learning environments of your schools and organizations and to expand educational opportunity for everyone, including our most marginalized and vulnerable fellow human beings. And like them, you are dedicating your lives and careers to the pursuit of social justice, a TC tradition that literally goes back 130 years to our founder, Grace Hoadley Dodge. Grace Dodge was among the leaders of a growing movement in the late 19th century to provide educational and social opportunities for low-income and marginalized populations. Like her contemporary Jane Addams, who founded settlement houses where people from different socioeconomic backgrounds could share ideas and information, Grace was bound and determined to improve the lives of struggling families. It was her unique vision to establish a college that would prepare teachers to work with immigrant students and their families who had recently fled poverty, war, and prejudice and were still encountering xenophobia and economic peril. It was also Grace Dodge's brilliance to recognize the need for a new kind of educator, one with the skills, cultural understanding, and self-awareness to understand and address immigrants' educational, health, and psychological needs. Armed with this deeper knowledge, this new type of educator could help immigrants and their communities achieve economic mobility and social equality. Thanks to Grace Dodge, Teachers College quickly became a force for increasing educational opportunity as a path to greater social justice. As more populations gained a foothold in society, thanks to institutions like TC, it became more essential for educators to teach the rights and responsibilities of citizenship. And the teaching of civics became commonplace in American classrooms throughout much of the 20th century. Helped by TC icons like Harold Rugg, founder of the National Council of the Social Studies, students were taught to think critically, to make knowledgeable judgments about political and social issues, to analyze and weigh the statements of journalists, politicians, and policymakers. They were encouraged to participate in constructive and respectful debate, to consider opposing viewpoints, to vote, and even to consider running for office. They were taught about how the U.S., a nation of immigrants, has from time to time encountered and then marginalized ways of nativism. They were taught that basic rights are guaranteed for all, not just for those who triumph at the ballot box. Sadly, over the years, an ever narrower focus on testing math and reading skills squeezed civics out of the curriculum almost entirely. But we shouldn't romanticize the past. For much of the 20th century, legal and then de facto segregation was condoned. It's clear that the civics of old did not confront racial and cultural stereotyping and biases that persist today. When we reflect on recent and current events, from violence against people of color, women, and LGBT individuals, to the prevalence of fake news and the divisiveness of our political climate, We must conclude that the time has come to revive civic education for today's multicultural, multiracial, multi-ethnic, digital society. And this time, the lessons of critical thinking, civil dialogue, and public engagement must go hand in hand with an unshakable commitment to confront prejudice and discrimination and to secure safety, opportunity, and equality for all. Thank you. As the largest and best school of education in the world, I would say the universe, and now maybe in the multi-universes, TC is up to the challenge. We have launched a major civic education initiative to redesign, reinvigorate, and reestablish civic education for the 21st century. Faculty from across departments have been coming together to plan a series of projects, from pre-K to post-secondary, from professional development to digital literacy programs. Graduates, we're so proud of the ways that you have contributed to our ideas for improving and advancing civic education. And we know that you're well prepared to keep challenging, reimagining, and changing the way our schools and institutions work to produce kind, thoughtful, and engaged citizens. We have faith in the future because we've already seen you promote civic education in at least 3 distinct ways. First, you've promoted civic engagement at TC, beginning with your calls for more robust discussions on how to educate responsibly about race, gender, and class. For example, through our Racial Literacy Roundtable series, you participated in discussions on topics such as global collaboration through new classroom media, the value of generating youth activism, and the power of personal narrative. Through our Civic Participation Project, you help organize conversations, cultural events, safe spaces, and podcasts for the exchange of multiple perspectives on social justice and on youth well-being in our schools and communities. And many of you were instrumental in categorizing 6 dozen courses across the college through a race, ethnicity, and intercultural understanding curriculum map. The map is helping guide TC students as they think about race and diversity from multiple perspectives. The second way you promoted civic education was by supporting faculty and student-led efforts to help produce responsible, engaged citizens. Some of you have helped faculty in human development enhance civic education by engaging middle and high school students in electronic peer dialogues on controversial social issues, and by developing urban middle school students' argumentative writing skills. Those of you in our Adult Learning and Leadership program have helped build a more inclusive society by advancing research on how leaders can make their organizations more civil and participatory by promoting and leveraging meaningful diversity. Some of you were instrumental in developing the Black Lives Matter higher education series of discussions, which has shown a valuable light on the historical and present-day obstacles facing African Americans and other people of color in colleges and universities. Others of you have joined faculty in analyzing how youth are using social media and digital games to understand and respond to the current political climate, and how to develop more effective digital tools to enhance civic dialogue and engagement. Some of you have helped faculty prepare and review resources for UNESCO's work on global citizenship education and the prevention of violent extremism. And some of you have modeled the benefits of cultural understanding and respect by bringing science to life for students in underserved urban schools through the use of hip-hop and rap. The third way you've promoted civic education is through your own individual work. Take Marie-Ed Rivera Nieves, who is receiving her master's in international and comparative education. When Marie-Ed was 8, she and her parents left behind the support of their huge extended family in Puerto Rico for a new life in Minnesota, followed by frequent moves. Like many Puerto Ricans living on the mainland, Mariette never felt as if she really belonged in any one place. Rather, she felt a sense of what she calls neither here nor there-ness. Lonely and nervous around her peers, Mariette longed to witness different ways of life. When a college study abroad program brought her to Europe, she finally got to see the world through new perspectives, and she felt lonely and nervous no more. After college, Mariette got to help others who felt neither here nor there. She worked with refugees from Somalia and Myanmar and volunteered as an ESL teacher for refugees and immigrants. She then came to TC to learn how to become the best advocate she could be for people who are physically and emotionally displaced. At TC, Mariette worked with a program providing K-12 outreach to schools trying to develop better civic and cultural education programs. She developed curricula and led workshops on Latin American studies and art. Mariette wrote her theses on teaching and policy in Puerto Rico's public education system and plans to get involved in community engagement projects with the Puerto Rican community in New York. Mariette will continue to help others build civic strength and pride as an immigration and public education advocate. Mariette, we need more citizen leaders like you. Congratulations. Among the many citizen leaders graduating today are 18 military officers receiving their masters in social organizational psychology. They are vocal and members of TC's Eisenhower Leadership Development Program, our unique partnership with the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. These 4 women and 14 men, selected from a pool of nearly 1,000 applicants to the program, collectively have served some 500 months in places of war and unrest around the globe, from Iraq to Haiti. They have won a number of awards for bravery, including Purple Hearts. And as platoon leaders, executive officers, and company commanders, they all developed a passion for creating a stronger culture of communication and participatory leadership in the military, an effort greatly enhanced through their work at TC. Here, they've learned how to facilitate the exchange of multiple perspectives to resolve conflicts. They discovered how leading with compassion and mutual respect can break through the processes that prevent groups from solving problems and making decisions. And they learned how to educate the next generation of leaders. Already, they've begun implementing material from TC into leadership development programs from West Point to the Canadian Armed Forces. Army Captain Chris Matos said that he and his fellow Eisenhower cohort members have learned more from their civilian classmates than they could ever anticipate. We all spend so much time around people who think and see the world just like us, he said. There's so much more to learn just by listening to other people. 2 cohort members will continue to lead Special Forces units around the globe. 3 will manage strategy at West Point to further develop the character and honor of military citizens and leaders. And 11 will serve as training officers, training, mentoring, and supervising groups of more than 400 cadets or cadet candidates. Several will also be doing some tactical leadership work as new parents. In the last year, 4 babies were born to the group, and 5 more are on the way. So congratulations to all of you. And our sincere thanks for your service and your citizenship. You make us very proud. Graduates, the important work that all of you are doing in pursuit of social justice and civic engagement is very much at the core of what makes TC great. In this room are educators who will help students from traditionally underrepresented groups see themselves as future mathematicians, scientists, and engineers, bringing much-needed diversity to our nation's workforce in the STEM field. Others among you will help shape education and the path to civic participation for millions of young people now living in refugee camps and communities around the world. Some will create better educational assessments that genuinely help teachers understand barriers to student learning and tailor their instruction to individuals' needs. Some of you will reshape liberal arts and civic education for a generation of American college students who hail from cultures all around the world. Others will create algorithms that reduce bias in data science, enabling schools and organizations to leverage responsibly big data in the pursuit of social and educational justice. And still others will devise new methods for understanding and untangling the intractable conflicts that threaten the very safety of our planet. In the words of the great TC professor Morton Deutsch, who we lost in March, violence and war are potentials of humans, but they are not inevitabilities. All of you will have a hand in changing the lives, the trajectories of those you touch for the better. And they will change you. Why? Because the diplomas you leave with today stand for more than a resolve to confront what is wrong in our society and to make it right. They are also a summons for you to continue to deepen your knowledge and understanding of the students you teach, their cultures, their experiences, their realities, so you can work with them to achieve brighter futures. The challenges confronting our society are daunting, but my faculty colleagues and I are optimistic about the future because we have taken full measure of your talents, integrity, and fitness to become leading thinkers, advocates, professionals, and scholars. We are confident that individually and collectively you will make the greatest possible difference in the world, and that you will both be and create outstanding citizens in the course of your work. You will reinvigorate the civic purposes of education, psychology, and health. This is your time. Keep bright the chain of social justice and the striving for civic good that started for all of us at TC's founding. Congratulations.